For now, let's talk about the exam situation in Quebec's CJEPs in universities. I would love to know, by the way, if you're a student in university or in a CJEP, or you've got a kid that's in CJEP university, are they going to have to go in to do an exam indoors in the week before the holidays? That is the case for some Dawson College students, and it's our pleasure to welcome Kevin Contant-Holowatyj onto the program. He's chairperson of the Dawson Student Union. Kevin, how are you?
Hi, Elias. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So can I ask you, Kevin, who right now is supposed to come in for in-person exams at Dawson College?
So right now, there are around 3,000 students of Dawson College who are being asked to come in for exams. So these are students from the science fields, the medical studies, technical programs, as well as continuing education students. So all these students are being asked to come in to write an exam indoors. And, you know, the Dawson Student Union students are completely against this course of action.
So, Kevin, you know, last week we first became aware of this is, you know, at 9:30 we always open up our phone lines, and we had a listener call up and mention this to us, right? And it sort of floored us. Wow, Dawson's doing this, you know, for a lot of students are requiring in-person exams. Our Shuyi Lee, a reporter here at CJAD 100, reached out to Dawson, got a response from the university. Exams taking place between December 16th and 23rd. There will be in-person exams. Now, the university is saying this, by the way. They've got a lot of protocols, right? And their top two priorities for the exam period is, they say, ensuring the safety of students and employees, and number two, maintaining the academic integrity of our courses. They say they've got a whole bunch of protocols: 2-meter distance in exam rooms, 50% or less normal capacity, staggered arrival times. Yeah, and students must make an appointment within 90 minutes of the exam start time. Swapping out students' masks with new procedural masks at the exam location. Mandatory symptom screening to be admitted inside the building. So they have a whole bunch of measures here. You don't think that's enough?
So I would actually say, following up on my conversation that I had with the academic dean and the dean of science and medical studies last week, it would actually be the opposite. It would be academic integrity before the health of students. And the reason why I'm saying that is when we reached out to the college administration, we made it clear that students did not want to go in-person exams. And you know, we in fact asked them to survey students on this issue. And the college's response was very clear. It was, well, we're not going to survey. We already know what students want. We know that students don't want to come in. Essentially, that's what they were saying. And throughout this whole conversation, this 1-hour-long conversation, there were a lot of mentions about academic integrity, how programs do not have the same value when applying to university, how the R score, the way of it's kind of like the GPA for CJEP students would not be as effective in truly, you know, measuring students' performance. So all of these things were mentioned throughout the conversation, but we, as the Dawson Student Union, as the representatives of the students, we kept telling them, listen, this is not about cheating. This is not about plagiarism. This is about the health and safety of our students. Would we ever put academic integrity before the mental health of students? No. So why would we do that with the physical well-being, the physical health of our students? And, you know, to address all the college's measures, I mean, at the end of the day, we are in the heart of the pandemic. We are in the red zone. We are in the heart of Montreal. And with the constant rise of cases, I mean, the latest statistics, I believe 1,189 cases in Quebec and more than 32 deaths. That is, it's crazy to think that we're going to make 3,000 students come into Dawson. Even if there are measures in place, they are never going to guarantee.
What's your proposal, Kevin, then? What's the alternative that you have in mind that keeps everyone safe, but also makes sure that there is some academic integrity?
So I think that it's very simple. Exams can be invigilated online. It's something that has been done before. I have friends that have had professors invigilate exams through Zoom calls. So that's a possibility, and that's something that we did mention to the school. And also, I mean, for these online exams, I mean, obviously the school needs to adapt themselves. They cannot evaluate students the same way that they otherwise would, in person. They need to, modify their exam structure so they take into account that students will have access to more information than they would otherwise in person, and make exams in a way that will test more logical reasoning of students rather than just, memory.
Kevin, what do you say, to listeners? I've got some listeners sending us notes and say, the age demo, right? The age demographic of a Dawson College student, it's the same demographic that aren't necessarily following the COVID-19 rules outside of school. They're doing the parties. They're getting together with friends when they shouldn't be. So what do you say to someone who's like, hey, listen, look at Dawson students, not like they follow the rules otherwise, so why should it matter when it comes to an exam?
Well, I think we can look at this in two ways. If the age demographic is truly doing parties, and I won't necessarily corroborate those claims. If the age demographic is truly not respecting protocols, then that's even more that's increasingly disturbing for Dawson College to have 3,000 students come in person, because that will increase the risk of transmission. But I think if we don't take into account, this claim that students don't respect guidelines, at the end of the day, students don't want to come in person for exams. I mean, even if a few students meet up, on a weekend, it's still not as grave as 3,000 students meeting in one establishment. I mean, that's an issue. There are going to be, major problems with that in terms of transmission, in terms of risk. And, we have to also take into account that majority of Dawson students, in Montreal will take public transportation, and they will be in contact with a lot of other people in spaces that don't necessarily have adequate ventilation. So this is also a very concerning factor.
Kevin, keep in touch. Let us know if any of your arguments have any pull with Dawson College, and if there's any changes. That's Kevin Contant-Holowatyj, chairperson of the Dawson Student Union.